Hello everyone, this is Pedro from Pythonista with one more video. In this video I'd like to show you how can you improve your performance if you are dealing with like a request. So if you have to do a request from a server and that's only one request, no problem. But let's say that you have a use case that you have to request um, a lot of data, and every single request it's gonna take, let's say, 1 or 2 seconds. But if you're going to download, let's say, in this case I'm doing like 800,000 requests, and I'll explain the use case, and that's what's going to take me about 7 days, and then that will take a lot of time. But I'll show you how you can use a synchronous request in Python, where you can speed up the requests that you can do asynchronously, and then I'll explain how it is step by step in the code. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and like the video. Thank you. So let's get started. So the use case was last year, I think it was in November, October, November, there was election in Brazil. And in Brazil, all the elections and the ballot boxes are electronic. So, and everything is transparent. And then you can check every single ballot box. So I'm just, this is in Portuguese, sorry. But you can come here and you can download the file here. That's gonna is it. So I'm interested in this file here called BU, which is in Portuguese mean ballot box, like just the initials, bulletin de urna. So, and then I wanted to analyze the data and see if the person are getting the right votes, and we can do some statistics by state, by council, and etc. But as I said, there is a lot of data. It's just like not only one archive. It's just like I have to go manually click this button and then go and download. That's 447. I did some maths. If that take like 1 or 2 seconds to download this data, it's gonna take me 7 days. I'll show the maths later. And as you can see here, there is 471,000. That's in Portuguese, but I translated here. The exact number is 470,000 and 75,000 ballot boxes, and across lots of councils. So I have a report that I've done, so which is here. So Brazil has got like, I think, 26 states. So for example, this is a small state. There is 22 councils. There is about 2,124 ballot box. But the biggest state in Brazil, that's where I'm from, which is São Paulo. SP, where is SP? Yeah, this is 645 councils, and there is 101,000 ballot boxes. So I've done some maps here. So I have this one here. I'm just gonna comment that out here. So that's gonna take 13 days because every single download it's gonna take 2.38 seconds, and we need to do one request to get the hash key of that ballot box, because just to avoid corruption. So the version that is published in the website is record this hash key, and then I use this hash key to do another request and download the file, and then I can then save in the file system. That whole trip cost me 2.38 seconds. So it's pretty much, I have the code here. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm assuming that you know how to do a request in Python. If you don't know how to do it, I have a video that I teach you how to do it. So I have here the URLs that I have to do the request, and then I have in this file here all the states of Brazil, and I have a folder here that has got for every single state the data for each ballot. So the structure is pretty much like this. So for every ballot, I have this hierarchy. I have the state code, I have the, I think that's the council, and every council has got like zones and then section. A section is a ballot box. So that's the hierarchy. And then I can kind of pass in these URLs and then download the file that I need. So this file here is the file that has got the hash key, and this file is the file that has got the ballot box. So if I wanted to do, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get like a small state. I think I'm using the RR has got only 15 council, and I need to download like 1268. So if that's if we do the maps here, so let's do the maps just for that one. So I have 1268, and then if I do times 2.3 seconds, so that's 2,909 seconds. So if I divided that 2,909 divided by 60, I have minutes, and then by 60 I have hours. That's gonna take me like 0.8 hours just for that little time state. I'm not going to make you wait, but I will download all the 2000 using asynchronously. So I'm just going to show you first the code of the synchronous version, which is here. And by the way, I'll put in the description a link where you can then watch later. Cool. The code is pretty much, this one downloads all the ballot box codes that I have to download. And then I have a function that gets the hash key, which get the ballot box code for each ballot box, and then make a request, and then that get the hash key. So that one returns the hash code. This one is just to create the file name, and this one pass the hash code and the ballot box information, do a request, and then save that to the file system. So I'm just gonna do here. For that same state, let's do just two, like, and then that's gonna show the how long it's gonna take. Good. I'm now here in the terminal. So let's execute this code. I do Python sync version, and then let's go. It's downloading one file. Save successfully. Save two files. So average time is 2.9 seconds. So you see that two files were saved here. It's a binary file. So let's delete this, and let's show how we can make it asynchronously. So just before that, as I showed here in the beginning, I have a picture that what I did here, I did a request and then get a response. And then while this request was waiting, they couldn't start the second one. And then they did one, when this one finished, again, did another request, did one finish. A synchronous program, what you can do is, once you do a request, before it responds and still waiting, they can do something else. For example, do another request, and then they can do at the same time 100 requests and then wait for them in what they call an event loop. So let's see how is difference. So to do that in Python is pretty easy. So instead of like doing a regular function, if you're doing a synchronous call, you have to use I'm using the wrong file. A regular function in Python has got the def keyword, but if you wanted to do a synchronous call, you have to use the async and await construct. If you are a JavaScript developer, you will be familiar with that. So, but in Python, just to make that function async, two things you have to do. First is to do async and await, but also you have to call another function that is also asynchronous. So in the synchronous version, we use the popular request library, but that library is not synchronous. It's not asynchronous, it's synchronous. So we need to import another one called IO HTTP. So in the construct that we do here, so we have a session. So with that section, we have a context manager, and then we do the request. And then it's a sync request, and then that's why you have to put the await, and then it needs to be inside a async function. And that returns the results. And then the second one is exactly the same, but for the ballot box, so which you pass the hash. So if you compare the code is exactly the same, but this one is async and await, and then using that library. And second, I create a new function here just to save the file in the file system. If we just use the open built-in Python, that one is synchronous. If you wanted to save multiple files in the file system in a synchronous way, there is this library called IO files, so which it works pretty much the same, but you have that constant context manager. So IO files open, very similar to the Python here, this one. So that one is synchronous. So what I'm gonna do here, I create this function here, which is async because it's gonna call lots of function at the same time. I call it batch orchestrator because I have, in this case, I have 1,202 downloads. I'm just gonna do in batches of 100 and then send 100 requests, wait for this 100 and send another 100, wait for this 100 and send another 100, and then keep doing it. And let's say how long that's gonna take to download the 1,000. So according to our calculations, so it was going to take 0.8 for an hour. So if I use my calculator here and do 0.8 times 60 minutes, it's gonna take 48 minutes to download all that 1,200, which is a lot. And I didn't have time. I wanted to do a quick analysis of the elections, and then I wasn't able to I was not willing to download for 7 days. I could do it, but that would take a lot of time. So let's run this code here now and see how long it's gonna take to download 1,200. So let's do it. So I'm just gonna do Python async, and then I'm just gonna open that folder. You're just gonna see the computer is smashing and save like at the same time, not at the same time. It's just like because Python is not a multi-threading programming language, you cannot do as there is a way around to do it, and this video is not intended to explain that. So what asynchronous does is just like while it's waiting from a IO, like a database or a server or a file system, they can do something else in an event loop and manage those requests and make sure that all of those complete. So that's exactly as I explained here in this picture, async is doing. So let's run this and then watch those files blazingly be loaded into my file system. Let's do it. Are you ready? Done. There we go. All downloaded. So I'm just doing like 100. Those took me 0.07 seconds per ballot to do 100. So let's do the 1,000. Let's see how long that's gonna take. So that's took me 7 seconds. So let's do the start it. That's gonna take 7 seconds times. So first batch is done. Wait for the second batch. Maybe 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, another batch came. Another 100. So I think it's like 10 batches in a bit. So I'm just gonna fast forward the video here, and then when it's done, I'll show you how long it took. All right, it's finished. It took like 125 seconds. It was a little bit more, so on this sample it took like 0.09 seconds. So if we do the calculation here on the report to see exactly how long it would have taken, let me just do here. It's gonna be 0.0, a little bit more than that. So let's see how long it's gonna take. It depends on the speed. I can double that. I can do like 200 at one time. And I don't think that's gonna cause any damage to the server, because Brazil has got 2 million people, and I know that 200 million people. And then I know that during the election, a lot of people were making requests on their mobile phone to get the data and download things, and nothing collapsed. So it's very, very powerful servers there. So let's do the report. So that would take like 13 hours. So in this sample, but it depends on the hour. What I did is I left my computer on overnight, and then when I was like in the morning, I did probably 2 nights, so maybe 5 hours for one day and 5 hours to 5 hours 7 to the other, and then I had all the data downloaded. Okay, guys, hope you liked the video. If you have any questions about the codes or this video, please don't hesitate to make the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to the video, subscribe to the video, click the bell and like the video. Thank you. See you next time.